Hello everyone and welcome back once again to Wizard World Virtual Experiences as the crowd emojis wildly. You can also applaud too from the comfort and safety of your home, but show us that you are there and you are here and you are excited by hitting those emoji buttons, those like buttons, those heart buttons. You can also like, subscribe, follow us. We are very excited to bring you a very special horrorful weekend here. We had Bruce Campbell just the other night hosting trivia from the Evil Dead series, obviously. We are about to bring out the Hatchet cast. We will then talk to the Candyman cast a little bit later today. And not horror, but supernatural. You can play Cards Against Humanity with the cast of Charmed later this evening. So happy Valentine's Day weekend. Happy horror weekend. We are excited to have you all here. Couple quick housekeeping things. We are streaming to you live on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube, bringing that Comic-Con life to the comfort of your home with these free celebrity panels. In addition to paid exclusive experiences, including one-on-one video chats, custom recorded messages, and autographs. So whether you're watching this live or later in the week, don't forget to head to the newly overhauled and beautiful wizardworld.com. Check out these unique virtual opportunities. And don't forget, not only are we streaming here for you, but we are supporting our favorite artists and vendors at the Wizard World Vault. You can head there, wizardworldvault.com, to check out signed memorabilia and works of art from our artists and vendors. Speaking of artists and vendors, one of our favorite is Reveal.com. That's right, Reveal.com. They are not showing reruns of Hollywood flicks. They are supporting indie film, indie TV series, indie movies right now. It's completely free, no credit card required. Head to Reveal, REVEEL.com. They are sponsoring today's horror panels. We're very excited to be partnering with them. Again, it's a completely free streaming service with 100% original content. It's so dope. So head there, Reveal.com, and thanks to them for sponsoring our horror panels for the day. That's it for me. We have folks watching from across the globe. I'm so excited for this. We have Dave Dugas Jr. watching from New Orleans, where Victor Crowley lives. Welcome, Dave. We have Kelly Charles watching from Australia at 4 a.m. right now before work. So Kelly, a huge fan, woke up at 4 a.m. just to check out this panel. We also have folks from Oregon, Massachusetts, New York, Pennsylvania, Canada, Denver, Colorado, Wales and London in the UK, Pennsylvania, Boston, Washington State, Virginia Beach, Ohio. I know I repeated some there. Shout out where you are watching from right now in the chat, and I'll give you some love. But we have folks and we have fans that are all part of the Hatchet Army. Hatchet Army Unite, everybody. All fans of this series. Let's bring the cast out. But before we bring the cast out, let us bring the writer and director out. He is known for his horror films, his work in the horror genre, specifically Friday the 13th, the video game, his TV series. I like to call him the H series, Horrified, Holliston, and Hatchet. He is the director and writer of the film Frozen. Not the one that you think, not the Disney one, not the good one, the horror film, And he runs one of the cutest charity events of all time, combining horror with love for Yorkies. His Yorkie is Arwen. They may make a special appearance today. He has created the Hatchet Army and is behind Hatchet 1, 2, 3, and Victor Crowley, and fingers crossed for 5 coming up the Pipeworks. Please get up for Adam Green, everybody.
Hi.
What's up,
Thank you for the
Adam?
intro.
Yeah, of course. Big fan. We have a ton of fans as well already being like, woohoo, Adam, and excited for you to be here. So thanks for joining us. It's rare that we've had so many casts, but it's actually pretty rare that we've had directors and writers. And so this is a special treat for us today. So thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. All right, let's get the cast out of here. Obviously, we have 4 films in the series. My favorite part about the horror genre, as being a huge fan, is just that kind of family feel. You see people popping up and starring in multiple films together, and I think the Hatchet series is definitely that. This Scream Queen from her roles in Halloween 4 and 5. She returned to the series in Rob Zombie's Halloween and Halloween 2. She is known for Don't Tell Mom, The Babysitter's Dead, The Last Boy Scout. She has been inducted into the Fangoria Hall of Fame and is Mary Beth Dunstan and Adam Green's The Hatchet series. Please welcome Danielle Harris.
Hey.
There she is. Hey, Danielle. Thanks for being here.
Happy to be here, everybody.
We want to let the viewers know watching at home that you are not currently driving. You are in the passenger seat,
Yes.
pulled over of a vehicle.
Yes. I am parked. I'm camping this weekend. I'm parked on the side of the road to be with you guys.
That's so awesome. Well, thanks for being here. Thanks for returning. We had an awesome Scream Queens panel back in the fall of last year, and then we've got the whole Hatchet crew here now. So we've got some of those other folks that you met probably last fall are back. But let us welcome another actor. You know him from MTV's Buzzkill, the films Ghost World, and The Devil's Rejects. He is best known for his portrayal in the Wayans Brothers horror parodies, Scary Movie, Haunted House 1 and 2. He has one of my all-time... There's a lot of good deaths, and we're going to talk about this, Adam, but there's a lot of good deaths in the Hatchet series, but no spoilers. One of my favorite surprise deaths was Dylan McMaster's in Victor Crowley. Please welcome to the virtual stage, Dave Sheridan, everybody.
All right. I'm on. Hello.
You did it, Dave.
No
Thank you.
spoiler. I think you just said I died. That's a spoiler.
Oh, that's a great point, Dave. But a lot of people die. I didn't say how you died. I think that's part of the joy and the fun of the Hatchet series is you don't know what exactly is going to happen until it happens.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, Dave's dead. Dave's dead, everybody.
No. Austin is dead.
That's true. That's true. That's a good point.
Austin's alive.
She made her film debut in the cult horror series Sleepaway Camp and Return to Sleepaway Camp. She has starred in hundreds of horror films, most notably The Perfect House, Silent Night, Zombie Night, Camp Dread, Death House. That's just like scratching the surface. She is Kathleen in the fourth film in the Hatchet series, Victor Crowley. Please give it up for Felissa Rose.
Hi guys, thank you for having me.
Yay, Felissa, welcome back.
So
Welcome
excited
back.
to be here.
Yeah, so awesome.
Thank you.
Dave, I have to tell you, people are already in the chat. Freddie Renalfo Ruiz said, Officer Doofy will save us all. So we're excited to have you. And Felissa, thanks for being here as well.
Thank you.
All right. Speaking of...
I do not die, by the way. I do not die in Victor Crowley. Just saying, Adam.
You just get seriously injured.
She just gets a serious enema.
Yes.
Serious enema.
I mean, Adam, let's be honest. There's been characters that we thought were dead that have popped up before. So
that's why I'm saying,
yeah,
you can't count anybody out.
Yeah,
you never know.
You never know. This longtime stuntman and actor is best known as everyone's favorite Jason. I'm saying it here right now. We all agree. Let's be honest. He is the most tenured Jason in Friday the 13th, The New Blood, Jason Takes Manhattan, Jason Goes to Hell, Jason X, and Friday the 13th, The Game. Again, he's done stunts in hundreds of films, including Leatherface, which I know has an interesting crossover in this panel today, Leatherface 3. He is Victor Crowley himself in the Hatchet series. Please give it up for Kane Hodder.
Yay!
Hey, guys.
Yay!
Hey, I just want to say one thing. Don't give me shit about these. I'm going to put the fuckers on. All right? Don't let, and Felissa is actually correct. She did not die in the movie. And interestingly,
cuts away, yeah.
The way I damaged her was surprisingly easier than I thought it would be.
Oh.
Oh, let's go, Kane.
Oh,
It went right in there, right? Like
it was a love affair. I think Kathleen and Victor. It was a love affair.
I'd like to just state,
thank you for having me. I'm gonna wear these. I think
it's okay. Kane.
They look like
You're getting so much shit.
They look
how many
cute.
fingers do I have up?
Oh my god.
Very cute. Kane, Stacy K. Shaw watching says, I like your specs, Kane. It's a good look on you. Heart emoji. So there you go.
no, it's not. But thank you.
It is.
Chris Snyder also says, I love when Kane gets
never
defensive.
had to wear glasses until now, this year. That's the first time I've ever needed glasses at all. And
You're old.
Me too. This was the year that I had to get them as well.
Ah,
But normally it's just for like reading and
yeah,
for.
that's all it is.
Let's keep this party going. He is known for his voice acting in numerous video games, including hit Sleeping Dogs, Mortal Kombat X. He has portrayed the role as Brad Cooper on General Hospital since 2013, had a recurring role on multiple TV series, including NCIS Los Angeles. We know him from films like Surrogate Valentine and Justin Lin's Better Luck Tomorrow. He's been Sean, he's been Justin, he's been Andrew, so we all know everyone can return. Give it up for Perry Shen, everybody.
Yay!
I did not know you were going to turn my camera on like that. Okay. Hey, what's up, everybody?
Very.
Perry, good to
Well,
have
don't
you.
do that. I don't want to see this. Clean it off.
So good, so good. All right, let's keep it. This is so great. I mean, we've got so many people from the whole quadrilogy, if you will. He is a paranormal investigator, obviously with Kane, known for his work on Hollywood Ghost Hunters. He was Leatherface in Leatherface 3. You know him from films like License to Drive, Eddie Presley, Slasher.com, Death House. He is Trent in Hatchet 2. Please get up for R.A. Mihailov.
Yay!
Hello, everybody.
Hey.
All right.
How's
Good
it going?
So good, so good.
Hey,
It's so
just for the record, I want to say I don't wear glasses.
Go fuck yourself.
wow.
Hey, R.A., I have a
Yeah.
question for you.
Yes.
Are you currently in a massage parlor?
I was gonna say that earlier.
Wow.
No, but I'm heading there as soon as I sign off.
It looks like it. I see where you're going with that, Kane. He's got, it's like the kind of bamboo.
Yeah.
He's in Tokyo.
Oh, wow.
No, I just don't want everybody to see the stupid light fixture on my ceiling.
Well, now we know
I've never
about
been
it.
in a massage parlor. I didn't know how Kane knew what a massage parlor looked like. I guess that's what it looked like.
Oh boy.
Can we do this? Can we do this? There's been a lovely person waiting in the wings this entire time, and the only reason she is last is because her first name starts with the last an alphabet letter towards the end of the alphabet. She starred first as Peter in James Gunn's first film, Tromeo and Juliet. She's part of that whole Troma universe. She has become a hit within the horror community for films like Scarecrow, Abominable, The Violent Kind, Beg. She has been in Sharknado 2, The Night Watchman, Tales of Halloween, and Robot Chicken. She is Casey in Victor Crowley. Please give it up for Tiffany Shepard.
What's up? Thanks for having me back. Oh my God, Kane, you're wearing glasses.
And that's our panel.
it's
Thanks,
so
everybody.
cute. Bye. You look so cute.
want-
You look like my grandpa Fred. Oh.
Let's start it off. Why don't we get everyone's reaction on Kane's glasses? So we heard
We don't need
Melissa,
to.
I feel like weighed in. Tiffany, Perry, how do you feel about Kane's glasses?
Careful.
I have actually bought this magnifying glass for my desk because I
Oh.
can't see crap. So I feel you, man. I have a huge magnifying glass to look at stuff.
Kane, we're all there with you. It's in love.
Is Victor Crowley going to need to wear glasses for you to see what you're doing in the next movie? That might be a little awkward.
Yeah, like how isn't one of his eyes like fucked up? Wouldn't it?
Yeah. Already has to do it with one eye unable to see. We're going to have to be like, no, Kane, that guy. Go that way.
Oh my God.
Adam, I feel like that's the natural progression, right? I mean, we've seen like the early Victor. We've seen like the sort of like 25 years later, or what, I forget how much Victor Crowley's later. So now it's like retired Victor Crowley, like he's sort of grumpy and annoyed in the swamp and everything. I think we can go there. We can go there.
He wasn't annoyed at the beginning?
He was annoyed at the beginning, for sure.
He just wanted people to get off his lawn. If they had just stayed back, it would have been fine.
The swampy lawn.
It's a little bit get off my lawn. He's a little bit get off my lawn. Thank you all so much for being here. We've got the whole Hatchet Army is here in the chat right now.
Hey.
Yeah.
Wait a
all
minute.
right.
Ask me what I think about Kane's glasses.
Oh, sorry. I forgot. We didn't go through everybody. All right. How do you feel about Kane's glasses?
Well, let me get a good look at them.
You should wear that like a monocle. You would be so badass. Everyone would think you're like a fucking pirate.
Oh, yeah.
Don't have monocles.
I don't wear.
They don't?
No, but I got.
Oh, they have patches. That's right. All right. Forget that. You don't look
Keep
cool.
writing that.
You know what, Kane? I think you look very handsome.
There we go.
I think you should continue to wear the glasses because they help you and you look wonderful.
Well, thank you.
You know I
very
love you.
much. I don't think I look good at all, but
We'll
great,
discuss
Kane.
it on the next episode of the show. It'll be a whole Casualty Friday about your face.
about Kane's glasses.
Adam, Kelly Charles, who's watching, says Victor Crowley should kill someone who has glasses, take their glasses, you know what I mean, and do like a kind of Blade style like reveal, like ooh, like now I can see. So
and then whoa. I didn't know this was all here.
I look like this. Why didn't somebody say something? Thank you, Kelly.
Why did no one tell me?
This.
Apple Oranges says Victor Crowley should walk out of the shack with like a zip up sweater, holding a coffee, like with his glasses on, and just be like, and like moan. So the fans are
He
into
needs
it.
to wear Crocs. Victor Crowley wears Crocs.
Oh.
I want to start kick things off with everyone talking a little bit about this. This series is so popular. There's a whole cult following for it, and we loved it, Adam, when you surprised us with Victor Crowley. And again, people are just in the chat right now being like, "Oh, we're here for this. We love this." What is it like to know now 4 films in, and Adam, why don't you kick it off? Just this huge cult fandom that has surrounded this series of yours. And again, I'm going to go back to your poster because the original poster for Hatchet was like old school American horror. You were like, this is not a remake. This is not a reboot. This is just like old school American horror. And that's what it was. And now it's continued. Talk a little bit about the fandom and sort of that fervor for the series and how exciting that is as the creator of the whole thing.
Well, I mean, I came up with it when I was 8 years old, which is probably pretty obvious watching it. But At the time when I made this, when the script first went around town, everybody passed. I mean, everybody, because they all said slashers are dead, and they said it has to either be funny or as violent as it is, but it can't be both. And I was like, but this is what we need right now. Because if you recall, in like the mid 2000s, everything was a remake or torture porn, or like a PG-13 slasher, which like, don't waste my time. If it's a slasher movie, fucking kill people, you know? So, so we made it independently. And it's funny you mentioned the poster, because old school American horror was my idea for a tagline. But then there was that review that said the next icon of horror, which of course the distributor slapped everywhere. And then that was intimidating as fuck, because now if he doesn't become an icon, I failed. They couldn't just, you know, there's so much pressure. And you know, the fact that we have things like this and conventions, and you get to actually get out there, like there's no other genre like this, and you get to meet fans who have the, you know, Victor Crowley tattooed all over them. And so I knew something was happening, but this was the year where it really felt like he's an icon, because this was finally the year that we got 2 action figures from Mecca. But honestly, like, it's just so no one knows that I'm kidding. These are really it. Like, this is what makes it legit to me. Like, when you have an action figure and it's from the same company that does Jason and Freddy, and the fact that this is next to those in here as a fan, like, it's like mind blowing. And before everybody starts attacking me who ordered one of these, we're getting them this week from NECA. There was that whole pandemic thing you might remember that slowed it down. So they're on their way. But yeah, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And thank you to the fans who carried it, because this movie has never had marketing. There's never been commercials. There's never been billboards. Like, it's all been word of mouth. And the fact that it's gotten this big is incredible and a dream come true.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I know I speak for all the nerds out there when I say you're completely right. The second you get an action figure, you know you did it. You did it. You created an iconic character, and that's so cool. Kane, react to that. Have you seen your action figure yet? What is it like? I mean, you are already an iconic character from horror, and now you've got a second one. How does that feel? I mean, that's got to feel awesome.
You know, everyone, all the fans know how huge the Hatchet franchise has been for me, because you know, you spend a number of years playing a character in several films and then get replaced unceremoniously. Even though I loved playing the character, you know, I felt like, well, that's my shot at horror. And then Adam Green came along and had this idea, and, you know, it's going to sound very probably phony, but first time I talked to Adam, I knew there was something different about this guy. And to just hear his ideas and storylines and stuff like that at the very beginning, I thought that this is special. And obviously it put me back on the horror map and extended so many things, and letting me do some emotional stuff in the movie, open some other doors, because people didn't really think of that. When they looked at me, they didn't think of a guy that could cry. So it opened up some more doors for acting. It's just been even bigger than Jason was for that kind of thing, opening other doors and different avenues. So I've loved it. And I think the movies are so well done and so well cast. And everyone does such a great job with their particular character. And when you have horror, you want to see the violent, scary stuff. But then when you have very effective comedy, not at the expense of the scary stuff, it's ideal. So it's been just amazing for me.
That's awesome. Yeah, John Wood echoes what you're saying. They enjoy the series because it's both horror and comedy, but also heartfelt. Your scenes as Victor Crowley's father were such a cool throwback, and be able to see you kind of behind the mask, if you will, was so beautiful. We talked about that in the Screen Queens panel last time, but yeah, thank you for your work, Kane. I know you make the part what it is, so we appreciate it. Perry, you again, the other longest tenured sort of member of the cast here, and we didn't realize that sequel to sequel until until you showed up. No, I mean, talk about that. Talk about getting killed off and then coming back. It's such a fun trope of the horror genre.
I was thinking when I saw the action figure, which is awesome, but I think if they're gonna do one, they should just have my head pop off and you can stick it in the different body, right? Of Sean and Justin. And so, yeah, it'd be interchangeable bodies. But yeah, it's been amazing because very rarely, I mean, if you're playing the same character, you're kind of like in that box, right? You're kind of living in that world. But I've been able to play literally 3 different characters. So it's been just a great exercise in just being able to go from one extreme to another and not have anything really overlap, really. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I love the joke in, I think it's 2, where you come back for the first time and we acknowledge it right off the bat, which I think is brilliant, Adam. You're like, they're like, hey, weren't you look like the guy who died here like last time, and you make like they're like, oh, you're just
There's a
joking.
third one.
It's the third
one.
Is that 3? Yeah. So
yeah, when he says 2 other bodies, they look like you, and then, he goes, that's hilarious.
Oh, we all look the same, right? Yeah.
Oh,
Danielle, you obviously the part that you play was portrayed by a different actor for one. You come in and again immediately it was like nothing had changed. We immediately believed you as this person and we love you in the 3. What was that like coming into it after 1, not knowing exactly sort of what the series was about, but then taking over and then now seeing the success of all 4?
It was really fucking hard. Normally you have like a moment to ramp up and get into it. And I just got thrown in the water quite literally. So I didn't get to like come down from that craziness until I think ever. I mean, maybe a little bit in Reverend Zombie's like store, but even then I'm crying hysterically. So it was definitely intense, and I will forever give Adam shit for not casting me in the first one, but that's okay. But like Kane was saying, I mean, I have the same career. Like I was forever known as one character, and then didn't do horror and didn't have the opportunity to be a lead in a movie after that, really, especially in the genre. And Adam, brought that back to my career and my life. So I'm forever indebted to him, which is why I always do stuff for Adam.
Just so everyone knows, Danielle auditioned for the first one, and I was freaking out because I'm like, holy shit, Jamie Lloyd just walked in. But the feeling at that point, because Mary Beth was the last character we cast, I just could not find the right person. And the reason why we didn't go with Danielle is because she was Danielle. And we already had so many icons in the movie. I was worried it was going to start to feel like a spoof or a joke. And so we went in another direction. And when it became evident that things were not going to work out with her coming back, which was literally just bad agenting and just bad decisions. And everybody is still friends and cool, just so people know. But at the moment, it was devastating because I had this plan for everything to start and stop, to be one continuous movie. And now it was ruined all because the no-name actress fucked it up. And then you get the greatest scream queen of our generation to replace her, and it just brought everything up a notch. So remember that in your own life, sometimes when things seem ruined, it's actually a gift, and you just got to be willing to see it for what it is. And thank God Danielle came in, because most of the time people will not accept a recast, but then when they heard who it was, they were like, oh yeah, we're fine. So that was it.
Yay!
It all worked out.
I remember getting the text message from you, Adam. I was doing Stakeland upstate New York, and you texted me, and I was like, yes, I'm in, totally, like I'm down, let's do this. So I was so excited.
I have a question. Like, were you pissed when you didn't get it and you heard it went to just someone that hadn't worked a lot?
Tiffany, let's
Tiffany, we moved. Adam already apologized. Let's keep going. Yeah.
That's like the story of my career, No.
Damn.
So yeah, Adam, you kind of touched on it a little bit, and we've all kind of said it, and the fans are even saying it too. There's been a lot of great comments about just the horror family. Royals 2015 said, man, the horror community is like one big happy family. And that's where we get to the other folks on this panel. I mean, you are all prolific in the horror genre, and then have just joined Adam and this series at different points along the way. Ari, I'll start with you just because you were in, sequentially the first one, Hatchet 2, there out of the rest of us. What was it like popping into this fun horror movie?
Oh man, I got to tell you, it was so cool.
Yeah.
Think about the cast lineup: Kane Hodder, Tony Todd, the late great John Carl Beekler, Danielle Harris, and Mr. Tom Holland.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
How could you not be thrilled to be part of that lineup?
Yep.
So, thank you, Adam, for including me in.
Thank you all for doing it. No one would even know who the fuck I was if it wasn't for you guys believing in me and doing this shit. So, also too, it helps when you know who you're writing the parts for, because since the first one, we haven't really done casting, like maybe like 2 or 3 roles, but I write each part specifically for somebody, which a lot of times people ask, like, how the fuck has Bill Moseley not been in one of these yet? You guys are friends. He's Bill Moseley. Like, there just hasn't been a part good enough for him yet. Because like, if you think about it and go through the movies, who would he have played where it wouldn't have been wasted? So just wait. That's all I'll say. Just wait.
All right. We'll get a little bit of that later. Chris Snyder says Mary Beth Dunson is one of the favorite final girls of all time. Adam, thank you for creating this badass character, and thank you, Danielle, for all your hard work. Freddie Renalfo Reed says you're like the godfather of horror, Adam. You're just bringing all these people into your circle. And all right, you listed off a bunch of amazing folks. Obviously, Sid Haig in Hatchet 3 too gets in there. We see a bunch of folks. Tony Todd's going to be joining us in literally a few hours for the Candyman panel, so I cannot wait for that. He wished as well. He's only didn't come here because he's doing a Candyman panel right after this, but what a legend as well. But you spoke to writing to folks, and clearly that's the case once we get to Victor Crowley, Adam. I mean, you can see that you're bringing in your favorites, and we've got 3 of them on screen right here. Tiffany Shepis, Felissa Rose, Dave Sheridan. Out of you 3, what was it like coming in on 4, you know what I mean, and being a part of that? Felissa, why don't we start with you, just because you're up at the top of my screen.
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, I was always madly in love with the Hatchet franchise and with Adam. So, it's pretty well-known knowledge that when he called me in and said, hey, I had this part and I want to talk to you about it, I just started bawling, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. This is like so amazing. And I love Kathleen. I'm sorry, but oh my God, she's just like the greatest character ever, right? Harry, we had the best time.
Oh, so good.
Yep, we did.
So Felissa told the story about her first agent when she did my show Scary Sleepover, and that's Kathleen. Like, it's your first agent. So when I heard you doing that's an example of writing a part specifically for somebody, because I knew exactly what you were going to sound like. And all of these people that you know from the genre, that you see at the conventions, like, they just need a chance to show how great they actually are. Like,
we
lost him.
Oh man, he was about to say like the
greatest. All this great stuff.
He was gonna.
Yeah, he really choked up.
So Perry, you take over. No.
Adam just.
I think it was going to be about me.
Well, actually, when Felissa was so excited, I remember she came up to me, and I didn't know she had been cast yet. So Victor Crowley was secret. All I know is that Kane and I knew about it, and that was all I know. And then Felissa comes up to me, and she had been cast, and she's like, "Hey, I'm really excited about this." I'm like, what? I'm like, is this a test? I'm like, what are you talking about?
We
like,
had a
no.
similar thing when she called me and was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, well, I'm just working on a project. And I'm like, the fuck? I'm like, but I knew, but I was like, is she in it? Because he didn't tell us anything.
Yeah.
Like,
we all kept it a secret. We were,
And I'm like, are you? And she's like, are you? But nobody would say Victor Crowley.
Because the project was a secret, you know what I mean, for the fans too. So it was, I mean, which is crazy. It's like the Victor Crowley verse has gotten as big within the horror genre as like the MCU, Marvel, in terms of like, oh, we can't let the fans know. And I want to talk to Adam when he pops back in, but there's a lot of jokes right now that Arwen ate his cord. Or
Arwen ate him.
Or Arwen ate him. Oh my gosh. That's the new movie. That's the new movie, Tiffany. Tiffany,
But-
you touched on it a little bit. Yeah, continue just in terms of coming into the franchise.
Well, no, so first of all, like, so we got the script, and I mean, I was super excited. Obviously, like, I've known Adam forever. He had asked me to be a part of like a short a long time ago, and I couldn't do it. And it was one of those like regrets, like, oh man, like it'd be great. Like then I could have been in the Hatchet series.
Yeah.
And but we got the script, and then at the end of the script, it just ends, and I was like, oh, there's a secret ending. I'm coming back. That wasn't true at all. It really just ended the movie. But yeah, I mean, I was thrilled. Like I was at Sundance with my movie, The Violent Kind, when he had Frozen there.
Yeah.
And The Violent Kind was not as well received as Frozen was. So I was like, God damn it. Like, where's my fucking Hatchet army? Like, I need these people. And so I just knew how ravenous it was and how great it is to work with friends. You know, like I've worked with everyone on the screen, basically. Well, except for Dave before. But Perry and I did like one of my favorite horror movies together years and years ago called The Hazing. And Phyllis and I and Danielle, like, it was just so fun. Like, it's really just going to summer camp.
Yeah, that's so cool. Apple, we keep joking about Frozen. I'm sure Adam gets it all the time, but because Apple Origin Z said every time I ask my friends if they watch Frozen, they always think I'm talking about the Disney movie. So sad. His was first.
Hey, can I say one thing about Frozen?
Yeah, Kane.
You know, I did the stunt coordinating on it and played a minor character, but just a year and a half ago, my wife and I built a house in Park City, Utah, which is where I am now. And we're not far from where we shot Frozen.
Yeah.
And I had never been much in this area at all. And it's just amazing to think that we shut down a ski lift during ski season to shoot that film. I mean, granted, most of it was at night, so it wasn't as big a deal, but there's night skiing here everywhere. But I always say the same thing when somebody asks me about certain movies and I mention Frozen. Always, what? You were a voice in it? No, God damn. I don't know how they got away with using the same name. Really.
All right, so Kane, since you're chatting, and Dave, I want to get to you because I think it's so interesting where you came from in terms of the horror parody, then entering like real horror. But Adam's in the waiting room. He specifically said, Kane, that you hate slow claps when you're late. So I feel like we need to let Adam back in and give him a slow clap, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. So here we go. Returning to the Zoom is Adam Green, everybody. Let's see.
And so basically it's just, you're so lucky to have people like that. What happened?
We're giving this slow clap.
I forgot to pay the internet bill, all right? Which is a great time. Buy something in the Ariscope store so we can keep the internet.
We basically had a fight about who you were telling these wonderful stories about, like which one of us it was.
Oh, Tiffany, definitely.
When your picture froze up, we segued into Frozen and we spoke about
We did a little Frozen. We did a little Arwen bit the cord chat, like a lot of fun stuff. Last but not least, Dave, again, talk about, obviously were iconic in scary movies, Haunted House. I know you were in The Devil's Rejects. But so what was it like coming into like an actual like fun horror movie and joining the cast for Victor Crowley?
Oh, I was super excited. And Adam and I had been friends for many years before, and I was always begging him to do something, to be in one of his films. And he called me up and like he said that he writes the characters for the people he knows. And he said, listen, I wrote this for Brad Pitt. He didn't want to do it, and which is good. I'm fine with that. But I said, okay, I can do that. But he did say, no, it's look, the character is kind of dumb-witted, sort of a jackass. So I wrote it for you. And he goes, the difference is I'm going to make him likable at the end, unlike you. So I was like, this is great. It gives me a stretch. So Yeah.
That's so awesome. And Dave, I know I can speak for a lot of the fans. The Wayans Brothers parodies are there's a lot of parody movies out there. They were some of the best at that time. So I think it was awesome just seeing you in those and then seeing you come out of it. You know what I mean? And be a part of this film. They still hold up. So thank you for your work on those films as well. They're just fun to go back and watch and a fun.
Yeah, I love doing comedies, but I really discovered horror. I mean, really, the first one was Rob Zombie's Devil's Rejects, and he really got me from the Ghost World and the Chili Peppers videos. That's really where he knew me from when he contacted me, so. But that was my first, say, foray into real horror, and that ensemble, and Kane worked on that. Look at the names that are in that, so that enabled me to start to kind of get introduced to the horror community and do conventions and stuff. And that's where I was really exposed to. I had no idea how the fans were, how loyal they were, how great they were interacting with them. And you don't get that when you do comedy. If you do stand-up comedy, you can be at a nightclub and stuff, but to have one-on-one time with fans, really the horror business is one of the only ones you can really interface with them on a regular basis. And that's why I got into comedy in the first place. It was immediate, gratification. When you do drama, you don't know if you're connecting because it's a quiet form. Sure. But comedy, if you're connecting and doing it right because you get, response with laughter. And so it's similar with horror. You get the edge of your seat, the ghost jumps and the scares and stuff. And so, and also going out to these conventions, you can interact with fans and if you're connecting and, and sort of the gratification and the, reciprocation in that kind of way. So that's why I just started focusing more on horrors lately, doing horror film, because I would say I'm a newbie fan in a sense. I had to go back and really, teach myself and educate myself on the history of horror. So it's been a lot of fun.
No, that's awesome. And that's a great segue, Dave, because I wanted to bring up conventions. Heather Jones, Craig Thomas, 5775, Horror Comic Art. There's a ton of fans asking questions and so many fans in the chat, just kind of giving their love for seeing you all at conventions. Heather Jones says specifically, Kane, I miss getting to hang out with you and Myra. COVID-19 sucks. Stay safe. Much love, Heather. I think she was one of your handlers at one of the cons. So some of you have been doing the smaller ones. So a lot of the bigger ones have been canceled. We can't wait to get back to physical conventions, obviously, big ones. But this is a nice substitute for the time, that you're still able to connect with fans. This is kind of an open question for everybody. We talked a little bit about this in the Scream Queens panel from the fall. What does it mean to just be able to have that fan fervor? Dave, you mentioned at conventions, online and social media. You know what I mean? This horror genre really kind of kicked off, I think, the whole idea of conventions and fans coming together for a certain thing. You know what I mean? And that thing was horror films. So what's it like? I don't know, any fun stories? Yeah, Adam, it looks like you're kind of getting ready to. Yeah.
Well, yeah, this is fairly quick, but okay. First of all, I'm glad you mentioned that this genre was the one that really kicked it off. There were comic book conventions. If anyone remembers what Comic-Con was a long time ago.
Totally.
But along those lines, Kane was one of the first people to really embrace that stuff. And I think, and I know a lot of people would agree with me, he's the reason why Jason has sustained as a character, because he was the only one out there who just owned it and loved it. A lot of times when you watch documentaries about the Friday series, the people who played Jason before, it was a gig to them. And this is no slight against them at all. But, which is why it hurt even more for us as fans when he was just suddenly replaced, because it was that's our guy, but the conventions are so important because no one does a Hatchet movie for the paycheck. And these guys will all agree with me on that.
Let's go around the room and everybody talk about your pay. No, I'm kidding.
I got paid a lot.
No, you didn't. No one does. And that's also part of the reason why they only happen every so many years. I need to go do other stuff so that I come back to this when I love it and really want to do it, as opposed to it becoming an assembly line where, every 2 Halloweens, there's another Hatchet movie.
Sure.
But the budgets have gotten so ridiculously low. Like that Victor Crowley was made in 11 days.
Wow.
Like, but the problem is every time we pull it off, then they squeeze us more because it's a business to everyone but us. So the fact that everyone who's there is there because they love it and they love the fans so much. I think the fans know that. I think fans know when something's real and when they're just being sold something, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, in the conventions, it's such a great place because the genre itself is just so vast with so many different levels. Like, you know, you have your torture porn movies, you have horror comedies, you've got like super straight supernatural films, and like all these guys like have made dozens, if not hundreds of movies. Sure. And you go to these conventions and it's like every fan will have a different favorite, you know, and it's a reminder that like, all right, maybe I'm on this movie and I think it sucks, but Jan from Tennessee, it's gonna be her fucking favorite movie, you know. And so when you're at them, it's just a reminder, like, you know, yeah, we're not saving lives, you know, as a doctor, but these movies are important and entertaining, and they fulfill something for someone.
There's a very serious connection. I feel like, you know, when I'm at a convention, the conversation between myself and someone who comes to my table, it goes far beyond even just the film. There's a very deep effect with just some of the social commentary that is truly, you know, part of the film. I can say with Sleepaway Camp, it's amazing. The family I've sort of come about, you know, with just that kind of a film. So they're really special, and that's what horror does to people.
And how nice the fans are to each other. Like if you're wearing your favorite horror movie t-shirt, if you just put out the slightest bit of effort, just a smile to somebody else, like they'll talk to you about that movie forever. Like there's no like elitism amongst the fans. There's so many people, probably even in the chat now, people who only know each other through doing conventions, which is why doing these online things is important, because people are reconnecting in the chat that way. And you just don't see that in another genre. You just don't.
And not only are they fun for us, but can be very rewarding too. I mean, you guys all on the panel have heard this, but maybe some of the people listening have not. I recently, a couple times, have had somebody come up to my table at a convention, and they're, you know, they show me a picture of me holding an infant less than a year old. And now they're standing in front of me at 30.
Awesome.
And it just blows my mind that, first of all, I've been doing this that long, but just when somebody does something like that, that's just amazing. And I think the conventions are starting to come back. Felissa and I are going next weekend to do Mad Monster in Charlotte. So hopefully it starts kicking them off again.
Yeah, I think it's important. We need it. You know what I mean? And as long as people are being safe and, you know, taking the precautions and such, and just, you know, that I think it's important to get back to it. That's what we need.
But see, Kane and Felissa are lucky because they were able to get the vaccine first because they're so old, like the rest of us.
It's true. You're right, Adam.
To pay you back for that comment.
Oh, Adam.
And I have not had the vaccine yet, fuckhead.
He's just saying you can get it if you want. Okay, no. Danielle, I mean, talk about. Oh yeah, Tiffany, go for it.
Sorry, no, I was just gonna say, but like years and years ago, like doing conventions, horror movies weren't popular like they are now. Where it's like, you know, you go into a 7-Eleven and there's horror movie memorabilia. Like then it was like you were sort of like an outcast if you were into these films. And I remember all of these guys being at conventions and embracing these people because they were like, yo, we're like you. Like these movies are cool. Like you're not an outcast because you like watching scary stuff. And what Adam said about the fans, like meeting each other, like I've been at cons. I know Felissa and Danielle do this all the time. It'd be like, oh, John, you're here alone. Meet Karen. And next thing you know, you see them at cons together over and over again, and they've assembled this group of friends. And it's a really wild community. I don't know. I'm grateful to be in it.
No,
except with these guys.
You made a good point. Bernard Rose, the director of Candyman, spoke about it earlier in this week when we did an interview with him. He was like, at the time, back when he made Candyman and stuff, it was sort of the black sheep of the like film industry. Like people look down on it and be like, oh, you're doing a horror film, you know what I mean, type of thing. And now it's completely flipped. I mean, it's a 180, you know what I mean, I think, in terms of its popularity. Danielle, I mean, Kane mentioned seeing a baby and then seeing them 30. I mean, you started off as a baby, you know what I mean, in the film genre, and then have just grown throughout it and matured. What has that been like to kind of feel generationally part of the horror genre?
I mean, like King, when people bring pictures of myself, in the 80s and like 89, and they're like, look, then I have the big hair and I used to wear this like big gold necklace that said Halloween 5, and I had teeth missing and a bad perm, and I mean, oh my God. So it's crazy to still be back in it. I'm shocked that we're still talking about this stuff 30 years later. For me, it's because it wasn't a part of my life, at least working wise. I only did like one horror movie, I think, in 20 years, in between Halloween 5 and then Rob Zombies, essentially. So it's for me, like, one thing that's happened during that I give credit for coronavirus is I've really been active on social media for the first time in a long time, and if ever, and gotten to know people personally that I have missed at conventions, and they're always shocked when they're like, oh, you remember me? I'm like, yes, I know who you are, Craig Parton. You're the one that gets photo ops every single time, and you always smell good. I like your cologne. Like, we've got very specific ways to remember people, and we remember the people that love us, and it really is an amazing community. So I've been missing it, and been able to reach out on social media and still stay connected and try to do fun things with everybody for the fans, because we miss them.
Yeah.
It's a great way to kind of keep the morale up a little bit until we can get back to connecting with each other again.
Totally. And shout out to all the fans that have brought us all together. I mean, not only us as the convention company, but Heroes for Hire, Mike Estes, Missy Gordon, the Scarlet Abbey started out as a fan and then kind of transitioned that into a booking type organization. So without them, I mean, this wouldn't exist, we wouldn't be here. So we shout out to them as well. Perry, you have a fun thing where you've got the soap opera fandom and then also the horror fandom. How does that like play into each other? Is there one that kind of sticks out to you as being more intense, if you will?
It's interesting because sometimes they do overlap at a convention, and then it's just because usually it's one or the other. It's very rarely both. So, but yeah, it's been I never thought that I would be in the soap world. So that's been a interesting surprise. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. They're definitely different types of demographics for sure, so it's sometimes when I'm approached by someone, I'm always trying to you try to figure out where they've seen you from. And then sometimes I'm absolutely wrong, where there's this, this petite, small, sweet, quiet Asian girl, right? I think, oh, it's General Hospital, for sure. And she's like, oh, I loved you in Hatchet. I'm like, whoa, what? So it's been great.
Hey, Perry, I'm not sure if we have discussed this, but as Adam said, I'm fucking ancient, so I don't remember. But I used to do stunts on Days of Our Lives for years.
Right, you told me that. Yeah.
So some of those pictures right there.
He forgets.
From Days.
He tells me to remind
him.
He's
not on Days of Our Lives.
Huh?
Perry's not on that show.
Yes, I know, but it's a soap opera. I'm just saying, we discussed that we have that similar background. I was not being a really nice guy. What the fuck are you laughing at?
What is can you let everyone know what a stunt on Days of Our Lives is like? Like, does somebody cry extra hard so they need you to come in? Like,
cry. You need to stop crying.
Oh no.
Here we go.
Let's see.
Wow.
Yeah. A helicopter. That's Days of Our Lives.
Wow.
They had big budgets back then. Now they don't do stuff like that.
Falling off a cliff, flipping a car. Those are
on
all
Days of Our Lives. I guess I need to start watching it.
Character.
For a while. Hey, those days don't exist anymore.
They would
Those days
just
don't exist.
they would do stunt scenes right before sweeps. And Perry knows what sweeps is all about, and I'm sure you guys do, but that's how they get their ratings. So if they have big action scenes, it helped with the sweeps weeks. So
Perry, have you died multiple times on General Hospital too?
Ooh, good question. Good follow-up question, Tiffany. Nice.
I have not, but I'm in prison right now. So
What did you do?
Oh,
I stole a baby. Why?
I know a great guy that could play a fucking horrible prisoner with you.
Me?
Oh, come on, man. I would love to bend you over that cell.
Wow.
Whoa.
Guys,
See what
spoilers.
happens during sweep weeks.
Boom.
We know where Victor Crowell is going.
There's our clip. There's our clip.
Prison
right there.
plays a role in the next Hatchet
But
movie.
the
Mears.
glasses, you just don't look as tough anymore, Kane.
Right.
No, Tiffany, we're on the we think he looks great
Oh,
thing with the
sorry.
guy. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We're
Really good.
yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
I
Remember
forgot.
we all decided in the chat. RA, you were a paranormal hunter. You've done stunts as well, obviously appearing. What do you get? Do you go to conventions? And what do you get like most recognized for? What is it like being part of the fandom of the horror genre?
You talking to me?
Yes, sorry, RA. Yes.
The other RA.
No, man, I absolutely love conventions. They are so much fun. You get to go to new places. You get to stay in nice hotels. You get to meet the fans, and and that's very important. I believe it's very important for us to treat the fans well.
Totally.
Out of respect for our profession, out of respect for our genre. The people pay good money. I remember one time Kane and I were at a convention. Our tables were side by side, and this guy was buying stuff. And then I heard him talk to somebody. Yeah, he just got laid off his job, and the fact that he was at a convention spending money. I mean, come on. And then the other thing is, you meet a little kid, 9, 10 years old. He may be a future Adam Green. You got to make a good impression on the fans. It's important.
Yeah. All right, I think that's a beautiful sentiment because you're absolutely right. There are folks that come out not based off of everyone's equal at a convention, right? You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what financial place you're in, what race you are, what your sexuality. Everyone's in the same space, and to recognize that I think is beautiful, RA. And you can see it right now, even though we're not able to meet physically, people are just excited about this digital and virtual experience and connection.
I have a question.
Yeah, Danielle, go.
Hey, can RA and Kane, RA, what's it like to have Kane stunt double you? And can you guys talk about your scene in Hatchet 2?
Great question.
Where you
Yes.
beat the shit out of each other?
Well, and they did
Such
it in Leatherface too, right? I mean, Kane, you were part of Leatherface 3, right, as well?
I was a stunt coordinator and I stunt doubled RA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did a lot of his stuff, but there was a couple things that I did just because if he gets hurt doing something, then the whole movie shut down.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily
For one day.
but not necessarily, that he couldn't do it. It's just more of
Sure.
a practical reason. But I will say I had to wear a fat pad.
So did I.
Oh, that's right. and
You guys beat the shit out of each other on Hatchet 2. Like, you really went for each other. Like, no
Kane-
joke. There was no acting there.
I
Kane
love
tore his bicep shooting that scene, and like Kane's arm was black and blue from like here to here. His arms didn't look quite as good as, but still, it was just like. But you guys
So
killed each
basically,
other.
RA
shooting.
won. RA beat your ass.
No, but I got killed, but I was the first one to fight back. But listen. Kane tore his bicep very early in the day.
Yeah,
And continued to work all damn
Wow.
day.
Wow.
I think I have a picture of it.
That's
Oh.
crazy. Well, listen, I could talk to y'all for 2 hours, but we are out of time. I want to do some quick questions here at the end, though. Just a quick reminder to the fans, if you, it's been so great in the chat, so thank you for hanging out with us. All of these folks are doing autographs, video recorded messages, and then they're meeting you next week, Saturday, same time, for those one-on-one video chats. So give it to yourself, give it to a loved one, treat yourself if you can, and purchase 1 or 9 of those video chats. Those are available on sale at wizardworld.com. We're talking about deaths. We're talking about some great deaths. R.A.'s death, obviously great. Sherry Clausen has a great one for you, Kane. How was it killing Derrick Mears? Because you were like symbolically killing the new Jason. we don't have to touch it. We don't have to touch it if you don't want, but.
Oh yeah, I'll touch that.
Yeah,
I was happy to kill his ass, even though he didn't replace me.
No, exactly. He was the next
so
one. Yeah.
He replaced the guy that replaced me, so I kind of owed him a favor. But Derrick and I have been friends for quite a while, and I just love how the scene where we're face to face, and then he calls me a little bitch, and then the rest of it happens. So he's a good guy, a great friend, and always like seeing him at conventions. So that was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, it was Freddy versus Jason where you got quote unquote replaced. So Jeffrey Chim though, no, definitely 100%. And hey, like I said, we miss you for it. You're our favorite. Jeffrey Chim wants to know from everyone. It doesn't have to be Hatchet based necessarily, but let's do a quick one here. Favorite kills or death scenes. Anyone got a favorite kill or death scene from any of your horror films?
Oh, I do.
Go for it.
Can I say it first?
Yeah, go for it.
There are so many that are way at the top. Felissa in Victor Crowley is just amazing. But my very favorite kill I've ever done is Mrs. Permadio in
the genre.
Yes.
So amazing.
That's not what you told me last night, Kane.
Well, we were talking without.
Come on.
My favorite one to watch was Felissa getting killed. Just because that character, that voice, hearing it on the plane, I'm like, oh, just kill her. Just kill her. But then, like, how it was done, I was like, holy shit, how are they going to do that? And it looks terrifying and awful.
Terrifying and awful. That is the best way to describe it for sure.
Yeah, but my favorite.
And it was scary when we made it. Because when Kane is behind you as Victor Crowley and he's fucking poking you with a stick, and they're, all right, her death's up. She's in heels. Water down the mudslide. Have her run up. It's horrifying.
Mudslide? What happened there?
It was all mud.
With the fist?
It was scary.
One of my favorite deaths.
Be folded backwards and abominable.
Yes, that was awesome.
I was naked and pregnant and in the shower because that's what you do when there's a Bigfoot outside, and pulled backwards. It was quite spectacular. You should just look up that scene on YouTube because it's like holy shit.
Bomb was great.
It's not a death that is from one of my films, but one of my favorite deaths ever is actually Johnny Depp's death in the original Nightmare on Elm Street, because he calls for his mother at the last second. A lot of people miss that, but right as he gets sucked into the bed, he cries for his mother. And there's just something about in a movie that's so ridiculous and over the top that's so sad and scary about that. Because I mean, people sometimes forget that Freddy was scary originally. And so that one always bothered me. And then anything in the thing.
For me, Tina flying around the room and
oh, good. So Lou Carlucci, who helped design that room in Nightmare on Elm Street, the spinning room and everything, he did the practical effects on Hatchet 1. And when Robert Englund was on set, Lou brought this picture that was the first makeup test of Freddy when the sweater was still different. And he's showing that to Robert and they're talking about it. And I'm just standing there like a little kid in a candy store. But then, Kane didn't have scenes with Robert in Hatchet. And so we were shooting Robert Englund's stuff and he's like, where's Kane? I want to see Victor Crowley. And the makeup wasn't even 100% finished, but Kane came down to set and I'm standing in between the two of them. It's like the second night of the movie. And Robert's saying to Kane, like, this is it. This is your new character. This is going to go all the way. And I'm just like between the two of them, like, I can't believe this is fucking happening right now. This is so amazing. And there's moments like that on all of them where even though I'm friends with everybody, I still have so much respect for what they do. And I just can't believe it's happening,
So awesome. Any other one? Dave, we talked about the scene from Nightmare on Elm Street, which was very hilariously parodied in Scary Movie. I know you weren't part of that scene, but I said when we started this off, your surprise death in Victor Crowley I didn't think I could be surprised by you, Adam Green. It just came out of nowhere, and it was so great, so great. But any favorite from just the horror genre?
Well, I'd have to say that, well, there's a lot, but I know we already touched on Felicia's death in this film, but I love her death because it is a plot point too, because of the cell phone.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to get a service. It's not just a kill. It's like all of us are like, oh, like she's got service, and then it comes up, and then with the modern, everybody's attached to their cell phones in the whole world. So there's a simile of that's everyone, getting fisted by their own cell phone, So, and now I've seen T-shirts, I've seen, stickers, photos. So it is an iconic death, that the head up with the cell phone and the service and stuff. So I really think that one's going to go on for, I think that death is going to grow. So to speak.
An Easter egg for fans, if you've never noticed this, one of a good joke in the original film is with Mercedes McNabb when she finally finds her phone because of the Dawson's Creek cell phone ring. And instead of calling for help, she starts scrolling to see who called her. And she says, ew, Scott Barnes called me. Scott Barnes is a childhood friend of mine. I put shout outs to him and everything. If you look closely at the shot when Victor puts Felicia's head in the plane window, and you can see the phone, it's Scott Barnes calling, and it's actually his picture this time. So he never knows I'm going to do this shit until he sees the movie. So the fact that it's
so good.
You should put his real phone number.
The fact that I used his real picture, he was like, what the fuck are you doing?
What does he do now, Adam?
He works for like an engineering company. It's not anything. It's like real work, but he just had a baby, or his wife did, at the start of the pandemic. So, yeah.
And we were talking about different kills. I was always disappointed that I didn't get to kill Robert on screen. But there's a second one that I was even more disappointed. Shepis.
Yeah.
Shepis. Oh, I've wanted to kill Shepis for years.
I know, and the movies we've done together, you didn't kill me in any of them, which means I am tougher than Kane Hodder.
Technically, you killed her because you stood on top of the plane and made it sink, so she drowned.
Yeah.
I know it's not.
Let me remind you, people have lived underwater for like dozens of minutes.
Plus, it was cold.
Adam,
Water was cold.
Bring her
When
back.
water's cold, you can last it.
Totally could last longer.
You can imagine how it would have been if I just got in the plane. She's trapped under the seat.
Ooh.
And just imagine me looking face to face with her and then in the face. It would have been brutal.
Kane's already written this.
This dirty fantasy he has.
Victor Crowley has so many good ones. You mentioned the head ripped at the mouth. I love the skinned alive. I love the head and oh my gosh, what is it? The spine rip out of and then obviously as Jason, the sleeping bag is one of the all-time best.
Oh, scalping Brian Quinn was pretty great too.
That was good.
And Danielle has killed Kane probably more times than anybody else, right?
That's a good point. Good point.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, but the fucker won't die.
I know. Yeah,
That's how he feels about Perry.
Wow, really?
Well, let's talk about it. So we end Victor Crowley, and again, spoilers. If you haven't seen Victor Crowley, just turn your thing off now. But you've seen it if you're here. But we get that sweet tag after the credits of Danielle returning as Mary Beth, and the classic cock the gun. Adam, what can you tell us, if anything? The fans have been. I want to shout out to the fans really quickly. Brandon Williams wants to know about Hatchet 5, horror comic art. Craig Thompson wants to know about it. Apple Origins, Kevin Nail, Solid Saves, Jeffrey Chim, John Wood, Royals, Chris Snyder, Shannon Sprout, David Corbin. Everyone's just asking. You surprised us with Victor Crowley. It was great. We know things are tough right now with the pandemic, but what is your vision for when we can see Victor Crowley returning?
Okay, I'm only going to say this here, so circle of trust, but...
Oh, he froze up.
No!
Kidding.
Just kidding. Just
Well
kidding.
played.
Oh,
That was good.
Low
That was good.
clap.
wow.
You had everybody on the panel, Adam, like also with that right there. They're like, no, he cut out.
There is a plan for more. I think one of the reasons why the original trilogy worked was that it was thought out from the get-go, and it wasn't just,
Sure.
oh shit, it made money, let's make another one. But like I said, we only do them when we're ready to do them. And I know people, you don't want to wait, but they're better because we wait. And obviously COVID messed up a lot of things. There are other projects that need to happen first. So there's no huge rush to do it, but there is a plan to do it. And wasn't it better that Victor Crowley came out of nowhere and it was a surprise? Like everything gets ruined for everybody. Like it's better to not know. Just know that like it'll be great when it happens. And but we again, we do it out of love. We do it for you. No, literally nobody gets paid dick doing these things. So
I got paid dick.
Well, Terry, that was a different arrangement. But yeah, there will be more coming, and
awesome.
At least who saw the plague coming? Like so you never know, but there is a plan, and it's going to surprise people. I think it's not going to be done in secret again or any of that shit. I can only do that once. I can't believe that worked. That all these guys stayed quiet about it the way they did. But I mean, there's a lot of unfinished business between Mary Beth and Victor Crowley, and this is so hard because I just want to be like, all this stuff happens.
Tell us all. No. Wait, Adam. I mean, all the fans are agreeing. Shannon Kugo says every Hatchet movie is worth the wait. TKT guy says don't rush it, keep it quality. Chris Snyder says just knowing there's a plan is good enough for me. I love surprises. Says the dry is out. So we are in. And listen, I mean, you can support these horror films. Shout out to those station. We talked about horror genre kicking off conventions. I mean, they also really kicked off what was very specific streaming like platforms, right? Chiller, FearNet, Shudder. I mean, they've featured a lot of these indie type things before. So, I mean, I think that's the best way to kind of support. Yeah.
It's important to note this. So last summer, Joe Bob showed Victor Crowley as one of the movies on Last Drive-In. And I think because of that, it brought a lot of new fans to the series who, of course, went to Amazon Prime to watch the first three because it's free or next to free. The movies on Amazon Prime are massively censored. So you haven't actually seen the Hatchet movies if you watch them there. I don't know why they don't tell you that, why it doesn't say this has been severely edited, but just pay the whatever $6 or whatever for a Blu-ray. And especially because of the special features that they come with, like we put so much into those things, and there's a lot of stuff you didn't see by watching it that way. So if you like the movies, make sure you own a physical copy and that it says unrated on it. I just wanted to throw that out there.
No, that's a great sentiment, Adam. And we as fans appreciate you for supporting that unrated / not rated, whatever people are calling it, type of film, because we know it's a tough battle for you as a writer, director, producer. And so we appreciate you for pushing for those, because that's what we want as fans. So we thank you for that. Let's do this quickly. We went so over, but I'm sorry. When I nerd out, I have to keep talking. Let's go quickly around the room. A ton of fans again watching from around the world. I just want, final words for the fans. I'm just going to go in the order that it's on my screen. Kane, why don't you kick us off with just final shout outs to all the fans watching?
Anyone that I've met at a convention knows how much I appreciate all the people that come. You can tell when you go to a convention as a fan, because I've done it myself, and you can see who enjoys being there and who is there for the money or a commitment or something. So thank you to all the fans. You guys totally changed my career, and I'll never forget it, and hope to see you guys all soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Kane. Perry?
I think that fan that said that the fact that there's a plan in place it goes the same for me too. Just to know that, we know that something's coming. We don't know when it's coming, but we know something's coming, and that's kind of like, it's great. So thank you all for loving this franchise as much as we love it. So, and hopefully we get to see more and see you all soon too.
Awesome. Thanks, Perry. RA?
Yeah, I want what Kane said, it'll be great to get back out there and see the fans again, be in person. We appreciate you, the fans, so much, because let's face it, without you, the fans, we would be nothing.
That's awesome. Thank you, RA. Tiffany?
Yeah, I mean, everything these guys said, and thank you, Wizard World, for putting this kind of stuff together. Yeah. Adam for making this franchise and putting all of us together. And we're in this with you guys. Like, just stay safe, hang in there. We're almost through it, and we will see you in person and do this in person. And Kane's gonna buy drinks for everybody.
Hey,
that's right.
There we go. Danielle?
I think that we're all still trying to come together. I know throughout the last year, we've all gotten together and been working on our own stuff, which has been really exciting. And we miss each other. So it's a chance for us to get to hang out and to try to create things that we know the fans will want to see. And we miss you. And we all love you. And we're going to keep supporting you, keep supporting us, and we'll keep making it happen, making horror happen.
Hey, awesome. Thank you, Danielle. Dave?
Hey, I just look forward to, getting a chance to see everybody again in person. And thank you for being a part of this and being a part of watching us today. And, maybe I'll get to speak to you on Saturday, and that's it. Let's have fun.
That's awesome. Thanks, Dave. Felissa?
I'm just super grateful for being a part of this community, and thank you to everyone who took time out of their busy day and came and hung out with us. We really appreciate you. We love you, and hopefully we'll see you at a convention soon. We miss you.
Yeah, awesome. And Adam, I know you kicked us off, but any final words? Tell us when Yorkie-thon 2021 is happening. That's all we really care about. No, but any final shout outs to the fans?
Yorkie-thon 6 will be happening at Christmas time. But yeah, to echo what everybody said, you guys as fans, you don't just make the genre go around. You specifically make these movies happen. Again, I can't stress enough what it's like to never have had marketing of any kind, no money put behind advertising these things. And it's just us at the conventions or when I can tour and I literally drive city to city showing the movie, and the fact that you guys show up and that you go out of your way to support. So many people steal everything they watch now, or they just wait for streaming, but you guys are just so amazing. And especially this year with the pandemic happening, I know a lot of people were watching when I did the first Corona Apocalypse, where I was on every day for a month, just giving away everything. I never asked for anybody to buy anything or any of that, but so many of you went onto the Ariscope site and fed Arwen treats by making donations. And that's the only reason this studio is still here. And so much comes out of here: the movie Crypt, Scary Sleepover, Horrified, the Halloween shorts, and of course the movies. So thank you. And thank you to everybody who blew up Holliston on Shudder when it hit. Yeah. I know everybody wants to hear that there's a third season coming. Just do not let them off the hook. Just keep telling them that you want a third season. Request it officially through their website, and don't accept no for an answer.
Love to see Holliston back and Hatchet 4. Like I said, I call it the Adam Green H series is my fandom. This was so great. Thank you so much for being here. As a reminder to the fans, don't forget to head to wizardworld.com to purchase those one-on-one video chats with this amazing cast. Those are taking place next Saturday. They're also doing autographs, video recorded messages. Hey, speaking of the Hatchet series, everybody, the legend himself, Mr. Tony Todd, Reverend Zombie, is joining us in less than 2 hours right here with the cast of the original Candyman and Bernard Rose, the original director. So that's going to be awesome. So come back. You can play Charmed Against Humanity with the cast of Charmed later this evening. We've got the cast of Clerks joining us on February 20th and a bunch of the actors from The Walking Dead on February 28th. And then stay tuned for more stuff in March. We have been Wizard World. My name is Mike G. I've been your moderator. This is the cast of Hatchet, everybody. Let's give him one more big round of emojis.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you all. I know we went long, but this was so great. So we appreciate you being here. We'll see you all next time. Happy Saturday and happy pre-Valentine's Day, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Be nice to each other.
Later.
Bye.